right, welcome, welcome. We are adding in a bonus call, the art and practice of co-creation. And we were just talking right before I started recording about sometimes how we need just constant reminders, little drips. And when we're shifting in our frequency, shifting in our beliefs, there is that constant little drip that is helpful in keeping us in the energy of what we want to create. And that's what today is all about. It's going to be more of a workshop setting. So I hope you brought your journals, and we're going to be doing quite a bit of practice of what we're talking about. I'm going to do a little bit of instruction first and just kind of give you the basics, kind of the help your mind understand the direction that we're going. And then we're going to move it into some practices. And those practices are going to be in the same way that I approach everything, which is how do we change our mind? How do we change our heart? How do we change our body, mind, body, heart, our feelings, thoughts, and beliefs? And those are the things that we're going to be looking at today. So to create what we've never created before, to create the impossible, to step into the miracle, we have to believe what we've never believed, think what we've never thought, feel what we've never felt, and we need to do it longer than we ever have, which can feel like a daunting task. And one of the things that I have been contemplating lately is the quote that the garden teaches patience. And when we look at a seed, planting a seed, and that's what we're going to be doing today, we're going to be planting a seed of possibility, planting a seed of impossibility. We're going to be just planting these little seeds, these little miracle seeds in the soil. And when we believe that something is happening underneath the soil, even when we can't see it, we continue to water it. Right? But if I don't believe that anything is growing, if I think that the seed is just dormant and not going to do anything, I walk away. And who knows, maybe that seed had some sunshine and some rain that rained down on it, and eventually in a couple of years it actually grew. But I wasn't there to see it. I wasn't there to witness it or experience it or bask in the miracle of it. And I certainly didn't believe in it because I wasn't watering it. And that's what we're going to be talking about today, is from this place of possibility. We are letting go of the timeline, letting go of it needing to look a certain way, and trust that the seed is growing even when we can't see it. And so we're going to be looking and using our energy. And we've talked about our energy quite a bit, that our energy is our greatest asset, that what we believe, think, and feel is how we move into this field of co-creation, of co-creating with God, of moving into the impossible and creating something that we've never created before. And I was just having a conversation with my daughter right before this call. So she and I are going on this amazing trip to Spain. And that's where I'm headed for the next couple of weeks. And it literally is a co-creation. Like, I'm living in the miracle of co-creation right now, which feels incredible and amazing and divinely timed. When I created my year and what I wanted for this 2026, I had put, I want to travel the world. I want to have adventures with my kids to help us bond and have that time together. And I want to be able to do something active. And that's what I had thrown out into the universe. And then I just kind of let it go. And within a couple of months, I had a friend contact me out of the blue. And she said, would you like to go on this trip? We're hiking the El Camino Trail all the way through Spain, 70 miles through Spain. and I'm taking my daughters. Would you like to take your daughter? And we're going to go do this in May. And at the time, it was like full body yes. It was just like at that moment, it was like, yes, this is exactly what I could not have even crafted this. I didn't even know this was a possibility. I had just planted the seed and trusted that it was all going to work together for my good. Now, that sounds like a beautiful story, right? And it's like, yes, miracle. And yes, it is. And what else is also true is that during we booked our flights, and there have been little things along the way that have caused a lot of anxiety for me. The flights are not the exact way that I would have liked them. My son is going through a really hard time right now, and it feels really hard to leave. And so that is also true. And it doesn't negate the yes. It means that we can still go through the hard things. And in that process, we can still live in the miracle. Both can be true at the same time. Like, yes, it does feel really hard to leave right now. And what else is also true? Yes, this is right. I'm meant to be doing this right now. This was designed for my good. And I can trust that whatever happens while I'm gone, it will be for my good as well. I get to let go of what I thought, well, if it's right, it should look like this, or it should happen in this timeline. And I know for me in my business and in particularly putting out a money goal, it's been like, I have to let go of the timeline. I have to let go of it looking like a certain way. And that has been a learning process for me. And in the same token, I get to live in the miracle right now. It's still a miracle that I'm going. It's still a yes. It's still incredible what I get to create with my daughter and be a part of. That feels incredible, and that is true. Okay, so we talk about our energy is our greatest asset, and that we want to create an energetic match for what we want. That's what we're all about. That's the work, right? That's the watering of the seed. We've planted the seed. We know what it is that we're desiring, and we're actually going to get a little bit more clear on that today. But we talk about being on the energetic pathway, continuing to shine our light in the direction of what we want to create, using our beliefs and our thoughts and our feelings to intentionally choose just a better feeling thought that puts us on that path, that allows us to, it's almost like I see it as like putting our feet on the path in the direction of what we want, with that faith and with that knowing that I'm headed in that direction. We get to tap into a source that is greater than ourselves. I love what Dispenza says, is that we have to think greater than our own mind. Sometimes we have to step into that field of possibility. We have to crack open that door of possibility, because we can only go through an open door. We can't go through a closed door. And so we're going to talk about 3 different fields. The first field is the field of predictability. The second field is the field of possibility. And the third field is the field of potentiality. Okay, so the first field is predictability. That's what we can see and know with our senses. That's how most of us operate. That's how 90% of the world operates, is like, if I can see it, if it's predictable, if it's happened before, it will happen again. That is how most of us live our lives. And yet, if we want to create something that we've never created before, we have to move out of the predictable, right? If I have never created X amount of money in my business before, And if I'm simply relying on predictable, I'm going to continue to create the same amount of money over and over and over again because it's predictable. It's what I've always done. It's what I can look back at and see with my eyes and hear with my ears and sense with my touch, right? I've only ever had this much money. In order to create something new, we have to step into the unknown. We have to step into the field of possibility and potentiality. Okay. Possibility is that I've seen it happen for other people. Well, if it happens for her, it can happen for me. It's possible. And sometimes, and for many of us, that's where we can begin, is I can crack the door open of possibility. I can say, it's possible that can happen. And that's a beautiful place. That right there is stepping into the unknown, right? We're creating something that didn't exist before. We're creating a new possibility. Okay. And then one step further is that field of potentiality. And that's the place of miracles, right? I didn't even see Spain as a possibility. It wasn't even on my radar, right? I knew what I wanted to feel. I wanted to feel connected to my kids. I wanted adventure, and I wanted something that felt like I was world traveling. That was the feeling that I wanted, right? That potentiality of a trip in Spain that was within like that it accomplished everything that I wanted, was at a great price with people that I love, doing what I love, that was never even in my realm of possibility. That was stepping into the field of potentiality. Okay. So there's all three are available, and we get to choose which realm we're working in. We get to decide what that is. And we use our energy in order to tap into the field of possibility and the field of potentiality. Because if we're just focused on predictability, we're going to stay right where we are. Okay. Predictability doesn't require us to change anything. It's just doing the same thing we've always done. So, how many of you are familiar with the emotional vibration scale? Raise your hand if you've heard that. Yeah. So the emotional vibration scale, that's not a new concept. It's been used by several different, Marianne Williamson, Hawkins, what was his name? Anyway, Power versus Force. He was the one that wrote David. It's David Hawkins. Yeah. They use the emotional vibration scale. It's basically saying that every emotion that we have is a frequency. We operate in different levels of frequency. And the lower vibrating emotions are fear, despair, doubt. And the higher vibrating emotions are, peace, bliss, faith. Those are the higher vibrating emotions. And what I like about the emotional vibration scale are two things. First of all, that it kind of breaks down emotions in letting us know that emotions are just electrical frequencies in our body. They're just a vibration in our body, and it can be measured. We can measure these vibrations. We can see where we're at, and different emotions give off different frequencies, and so you can kind of recognize that emotions are just a physical response in our body. Secondly, what I like about it is that the emotional vibration scale is not a judgment call. It's not saying that the lower vibrating emotions are worse than the higher vibrating emotions. It's just naming the emotions. They're here. And sometimes what we can do is we can fall into the trap of saying, if I'm not in these high vibe emotions, I can't manifest, right? I need to stay really high vibe in order to create what I want, right? I have to stay positive all the time in order to create that. And it can become like one more thing that we have to do. I know I felt that for a long time. It was like if I want to create what I want, I have to stay in this really high vibe. And what the emotional scale does is that it's a gentle trending, right? It's like what we talked about with being on your energetic path. I don't have to be at the end of my energetic path to create what I want. I'm in the creation of it simply by turning my feet on the path in the direction that's heading towards what I want. Simply shining my light in the direction of what I want takes me in that direction. I'm already starting on my path simply by shining my light in the direction I want to go. So when we are talking about moving up the energetic scale, it's simply by a gentle trending upward. It's saying, if I go from fear to neutral, that's improvement. That feels better. Neutral feels better than fear. Neutral is also what motivates me to pick up the watering can, right? If I'm in fear and doubt, then I'm not doing anything. But at least in neutral, I'm feeling a little bit more motivated, right? And my feet are turned in the direction I want to head. So I want to pause here and I just want to kind of get a little bit of a pulse check here. What are each of you hearing? What's standing out to you, or what questions do you have?
I have a question. So,
Mm-hmm.
you mentioned how we shine the light in the direction that we want to go. Um, Obviously, like with a flashlight, we point it to the path that leads us towards our destination. But that's a metaphor. So how do we metaphorically shine the light in the direction we want to go?
Mm-hmm. Yes, perfect question. Perfect question. Because where you shine your light is what you will see, and what you see is the direction you'll go. If you're walking in the forest in the dark of night and you're shining your light this direction, you're not going to head in the opposite direction, right? You're going to follow the direction that your light is shining. Your light is your energy. When I say your energy is your greatest asset, it's because we follow our energy. And your energy is simply made up of what you believe, think, and feel. Okay, so that's what we're going to be working on today. Those are the three tools that I'm going to be giving you, are how to work with what you believe, what you think, and what you feel to keep your energy shining in the direction you want to go.
Thank
Can I
you.
share
Yeah.
an
Yep.
example for that?
Yes, please.
It's kind of like, so when I'm focused on quitting my 9 to 5 and I'm focused on like, okay, here are all the reasons that I want to quit and here's like how bad it is, or, just like, okay, when is my end date? That's totally different than like, okay, what do I want to create? What do I want my life to be like? It's when I'm focusing on quitting, I'm kind of like wallowing. I'm kind of like just spinning of like, when should I quit or whatever. But when I'm focused on like, okay, what do I want to create to replace that? That's a totally different focus. It's much more fun. It's much more light. It's like, ooh, what are the possibilities? What could I do? Whereas it's kind of the same situation. Like the same circumstance is still here, but my light is focused in the direction of creation versus like wallowing in why it's so bad. Does that make sense? Like it's a completely different like the vibration because my focus like I have different color lenses on, and seeing the same circumstance with different colored lenses. Hopefully that
Mhm.
helps.
Yeah, that's a beautiful example, perfect example. And what is having that lens looking towards possibility, what is that doing for you right now?
It's opening up so many more different things. Um, Whereas like I can feel the difference when I'm focused on just the quitting. It feels like there's a ceiling. It feels like I'm limited. I'm stuck. I'm in a box. Whereas like, okay, what do I want to do with my life? What do I want to create? How do I want to go about it? What would that mean? How like what would there's all the little questions that you can ask yourself, but it opens things up so much more so that I don't have that ceiling and it's just the best word I can think of is just like open, and
Mm-hmm.
that it's like this open and possibility and this creative, like I still don't have any answers and I still don't have a decision, a goal, a direction really, but the energy is different because I'm shining my light in this direction. So I feel like I'm going to move now. The ceiling is gone. If that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I love that before it felt like there was a ceiling. It felt like there was a cap. It felt like when I focus on the cap, that's all I can see,
Mhm.
right? And when I focus on the possibility, who knows what's available to me, right? There's the story of the fleas in the jar. I don't know if you've heard this story before, but they put a bunch of fleas in a jar, and fleas have the potential to jump like clear out of the jar. They can jump really high. They can, I don't know how many times their body size they can jump, but they have the potential to completely jump out of the jar. And without a lid, the fleas would. They would just jump out of the jar. As soon as they put a lid on the jar and the fleas jumped and hit their heads, metaphorically speaking, I don't know if they actually had heads to hit, but as soon as they hit the top a couple of times and felt the pain of it, they only jumped within a millimeter of the top of the jar. They limited themselves, they limited how far they could jump. Now, the cool thing is, when they took the lid off, the fleas only jumped as high as the lid used to be. They couldn't, they had trained themselves because it was all they knew, it was predictable. They had trained themselves to only jump to that same level that they had jumped when they had previously felt the pain, right? That's that invisible brick wall that they were hitting up against. It wasn't real, it was imaginary. Their potential was that they could jump out of the jar. And now, what was really fascinating is that their babies, they did the same. They only jumped as high as their mothers jumped. They didn't jump out of the jar, even though that was in their potential. They had the potential to do it, but because it was predictable, because that was all that they had known and seen, they only jumped as high as they could predict. Right? So what you're experiencing, Cassie, is you're taking off that lid and you're recognizing it's possible. Look, I'm seeing something up there. And that possibility, like you can't walk through a closed door. You can't jump higher than the lid unless you take the lid off and see something is possible. Stepping beyond the predictable into possibility and even into potential. Okay. So how do we do this? That's the question Wendy was asking. Like, this is all great in theory, but how do we do this? How do we keep shining our light in the direction that we want to go? This is a process of shifting our energy and gently trending in the direction that we want to go. That we can shift our energy by 1%, and it makes a difference. I've worked with one of my clients for 3 years, And every time we work on something, she says, I can believe that by 0.00001%, right? And in that 0.0001%, she has changed her life. She's changed her relationship with her body. She's changed her relationship with her business. She's changed her relationship with her romantic relationships. She has made those shifts 0.001% at a time, and that's all that is required. Okay? And it's just that consistency over time. So we are going to start with what you want. Okay, that's where we always begin. That's taking the lid off and seeing what could be possible beyond, right? So I want you to pull out your piece of paper and I want you to just write down something that you want to create. 9 to 5, more money, more abundance mentality, better relationship with your body, whatever that is. I just want you to write down what it is that you would like to be experiencing differently. Okay, now that you have what you want, what your desire is, I want you to answer the question, what will having that do for me? Okay. Just go ahead and let me know when you're ready to move on from that. Okay. So I would love to hear what having that does for you. What does it do for you to have what you want?
I think for me, it's the feeling of freedom and a sense of purpose.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, freedom and purpose. What about you, Wendy?
So, what I want has to do with money, because what it will do for me is I felt like it will strengthen my marriage because
Mm-hmm.
my husband will feel less pressure to, like, all of the providing is on him.
Mm-hmm.
Because, yeah, he's worried about money, and so then that, you know, makes the trip that we have planned this summer put a little kink in it, because I had a full body yes, like, yes, we need to do this. And he's
Mm-hmm.
like, but the money. So,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. So I want you to just circle that. Just this is your true desire. Yes, there is a desire for a different 9 to 5. Yes, there is a desire for I want to make more money. But the true desire is energetic, right? The true desire is I want more freedom and purpose. And for Wendy, I want to feel less worry and less pressure. I want that relief, that feeling of relief. Right? Is that accurate?
Yeah. And how do I not tie it to my husband? Because I
Mm-hmm.
feel like it's all going to work out. The money will be there. We'll figure it out. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
worried, but it's such a strain on our relationship that the reason why I want that is so that our relationship, so that he feels better. And
Mm-hmm.
if he feels better, then I'll feel better. But I don't know if that's good.
Yes. And can you separate him feeling better from you feeling better? What does it do for you to have him feel better? What do you feel?
I guess less guilt because
Mm,
part of me feels guilty that maybe I'm causing some of his stress because of investments that I
mm-hmm,
feel good about making, and
mm-hmm,
you know it's causing
mm-hmm,
him more stress, and then I feel like, oh, it's my fault.
mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's what would you feel instead of guilt?
Hmm. If what?
If there were if he felt okay and you felt less guilt, what would you be feeling instead?
Probably better connection.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that is the true desire, right?
Mm.
Is connection. Because the truth is, he could have $1 million in the bank and still feel pressure and still feel like there's not enough and still
Mm.
feel like there's never going to be enough, right? That the money isn't going to solve for that,
Right.
right? What you want is connection.
Mhm.
And what
Yeah.
it feels like is getting in the way is that guilt.
Mhm. Yes.
Yeah. So that's where you shine your light, is on creating connection, because that's what you truly want, right? And part of it is that you feel like, oh, if we just had more money, then we'd have more connection.
Mhm.
And maybe if we can just shine the light on connection, um, the other falls into place,
Yeah, I like that
right?
too.
Okay. So now we're going to start with the truth, because when we talk about the vibration scale, truth is the highest vibration. Even if the truth is right now, I feel fear. I feel like that's not possible. I feel doubt. Okay. This I feel is one of the places that we forget to go to first. Today, I leave tomorrow at 6 a.m. My mama heart was just like in uh like feeling so wrenched right now. My son is probably going through one of the hardest times I've ever seen him go through. And it was just thinking about leaving tomorrow just felt like my heart was just being torn apart. And I couldn't see any other possibility than it's I'm leaving him, I'm abandoning him, I'm failing as a mother. Those were the thoughts that I had, rational or not, right? Those were the thoughts that were there. And I couldn't see another possibility until I got true. I dove into the truth. Okay? So I'm going to walk you through a process. This is where what is getting in the way of creating what you want? What's stopping you or getting in the way? What are the thoughts that you have? It's not possible. I don't see it happening. It's never happened before. I just want you to get very clear and just pour your heart out. This is a great practice to do with God. Just pour your heart out. Put down all the thoughts, the fears, the doubts, the concerns that you have. Let it just flow. Okay, about 30 more seconds. All right. Now I want you to go ahead and I just want you to write down the feelings. What are the feelings? You may have already written some of those down, and maybe you can just circle some of those that have already come out. But what are the feelings as you look at this list? What feelings come up in your body, in your heart? Okay. And I want you to just write down one of those feelings, the one that feels like the most charged, or circle it. Just find the feeling that feels the most charged. Okay, from here we're going to go into an exercise that I call a feeler. All right, this is acknowledging the emotion in your body and noticing and putting your attention on it. Most of the time, and we can even use thought work to do this as well, we try to just push the emotion away. Right? I don't want to look at it. I don't want to feel it. This is uncomfortable. I don't like this. And when we push it away, we can't let it move through our body. It needs to resolve. It needs to teach us what it's there to teach us. Like I said, on the emotional vibration scale, this is not about saying fear is wrong, right? Sometimes there's a really beautiful lesson in fear. Sometimes fear has a message for us. Sometimes fear wants us to know something. For Cassie, you experienced that fear of what I don't want actually made it more clear what you do want, right? You weren't even, it was challenging for you to even think about what you wanted to create, but you knew what you didn't want, right? And that contrast created the clarity to get more clear on what you do want. And that can be beautiful, right? So there's purpose and meaning and value in the fear, and we don't want to dismiss that without understanding the lessons and what's here for us. Okay. And sometimes we can just jump into thought work without looking at what the fear is here to teach us, what it's here for, how it's here in service to us. When we signed up for life, we signed up for the whole buffet, right? We signed up for the highs and the lows, and there's not one that's better than the other. We can ask, what is in service to me now? Sometimes it is in service to me to be with my emotions because, like I said this morning, until I was able to acknowledge the fear, and for me, it was failure. Like I felt this big, huge lump of failure. Being a mom is the most important thing to me in the world. There is nothing more important to me than being a mother. And to feel like I was leaving my son at a time when he needed me the most felt like a huge wad of failure in my gut. And until I was able to see that, feel it, experience it, learn from it, listen to it, I couldn't move past that. I couldn't see another possibility. Right? Sometimes we have to sit with the fear, sit with the emotion, sit with the failure, so we understand what's there for us. Contrast, clarity, messages, learning, compassion, loving to ourselves even in the failure, right? Learning to trust that the failure means that I care deeply about something that's really important, right? There's so much to be learned here, and we can't move past that until we've gleaned what's there for us. It's part of the process. And if we try to bypass it, even, bypassing it can look like scrolling Facebook, eating chocolate, or thought work. It can be a way to bypass the emotion that is there. Okay. So I want you to go ahead and just close your eyes for a moment. You can put your pencils down, and we're just going to take a couple of deep breaths into your body. And as you breathe in, I want you to just feel your belly expand. Exhaling slowly and feeling your belly release. And again, inhaling slowly, just noticing how your belly expands on the inhale. Exhaling, noticing how your belly releases on the exhale. And this next time, you're just going to breathe into your belly, feeling it expand. And exhaling, you're just going to feel yourself dropping out of your head and into your body. And now I want you to go ahead and just notice if this feeling were to live somewhere in your body, where might that be? Maybe it's in your gut. Maybe it doesn't feel like it has a specific place. Maybe it just feels like an overall general feeling, and that's okay. You're just greeting your body where it's at, greeting your heart where it's at. And then notice what this feeling feels like. Maybe it feels like tension in your body. Maybe it feels like a big lump in your throat or in your belly. Maybe it feels like a wall that you're running into. It feels like a block. Whatever it is, just feel into it. And you can place your hand on that part of your body, and I want you to just name that part. I see you, failure. You feel like a big lump in my belly. Just describe what it feels like in your body as you just sit with this emotion, just allowing it to be here. And now, instead of pushing it away, I actually want you to breathe into it, almost like you're creating space for it to be seen and heard and felt. You may even notice that it intensifies, and that's okay. It's just giving it space to be seen. Just sit here with the emotion for 3 breaths. Now go ahead and ask this part of you, what if this part had a positive intention for you? If it were here for your good, what does this part want for you? And if it's helpful, you can write that down. Sometimes that helps me to focus. If it just bubbles into your awareness without writing it down, that's fine too. But what does this part want for you? And second question, what does this part need from you? And just tuning into this part, asking if there's anything else that this part needs to share. And then notice if the intensity of the emotion feels like it's gone up or down. If the intensity has gone down, go ahead and open your eyes. If the intensity has gone up, just ask once again, is there anything else you need me to hear? Okay. What did you both notice? Did the intensity go up or down as you put your intention and attention on it? What did you notice?
I think mine was about the same,
Mm-hmm.
actually. Um, yeah, it was fear, and it was in my third chakra,
Mm-hmm.
right about at my stomach, kind of at the front.
Mm-hmm.
And um, it's there to keep me safe based on past experiences.
Mm.
So, um, like I wanted to go a little bit deeper and be like, okay, safe from what
Mm-hmm.
specifically? Um, and I think it was like it's kind of trippy, but it's like trying to keep me safe from fear. Like
Mm-hmm.
fear, not wanting to feel afraid again
Mm-hmm.
from like past experiences, and not wanting to repeat, um, and um, because it was like, and then I wasn't quite sure, what does my fear need? And it
Mm-hmm.
was, I was trying to think, not a whole lot came up, but it was more around like, well, what's the opposite? Like, how do you help with the feeling of safety? It would
Mm-hmm.
be like reassurance.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, I don't think that's quite it because that's kind of what I've done before. Like, no, I got this. I can do this. Like, just give myself more motivation. And then it was like, but that didn't really work before,
Mm-hmm.
like the hustle, putting in more time,
Mm-hmm.
more effort, more money, more training, more learning, stuff like that.
Yeah.
That didn't solve the problem before,
Yeah. So
So,
what I'm hearing is that what it needs is to stick around. That your fear is keeping you safe from repeating old patterns that did not keep you safe. And so it's allowing you, it's saying keep the protection of fear with and let go of the paralyzation, right?
mm,
There are parts of that protective mechanism in fear that are important. Like there are lessons that I learned in the past that I want to hold on to. And I can move forward knowing that I'm not going to fire fear. I'm not kicking fear out the window with my like, I got this, I'm going to do this. Let's go rally, tally ho and do this together. I can just power through, right? It's saying, let's do this another way. Like, let's bring fear along for the ride, but use it differently. It becomes a tool instead of a wall,
yeah. Yeah, that's good.
right? That's
Because,
why it's like, no, I'm not going away. I need to stick around. Yeah.
yeah, and some of the things I wrote down, like what thoughts are getting in the way, was just like, well, I haven't done this before, or like more pressure, more stress, more, more anxiety, or like, what if I can't change is a big
Mm-hmm.
one for me. Like,
Mm-hmm.
because I know that if I want to change my results, I need to change me or my beliefs.
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't done that yet. You set a goal and then you don't get it. So then you change the goal, or,
Yeah.
that type of
And
thing.
I'm going to stop you right there because it's not required. That's a belief. A belief is you there's a belief there that says I have to believe X. amount, like X percentage, in order to get what I want. And what we're talking about is shining your light in that direction and being pulled in that direction.
The 0.01001%.
Yes. That your job is to shine your light. The how and the it's never happened before, that's up to God and the universe, right? You get to just shine your light in faith. One of the way that I love to look at miracles, which is what the field of potentiality, right? Miracles are something that are like it comes. I didn't have any idea that it was coming. Faith plus plugging into God's power equals a miracle, right? God's power is constant. Universal potentiality is constant. Our faith is what we can work on. That's the part that we have access to. That's our energy, what we believe, think, and feel, right? And
That's interesting.
all we
Okay.
do is direct our light in that direction. It's not that we don't do anything, but it's where is that motivation coming from, right? Where is that motivation to move forward? Is it coming from fear, or is it coming from faith?
Yeah.
Right? And if I'm moving forward from faith, I'm moving forward in a very different energy. Okay. But
Yeah. I think, yeah, that's
yeah,
good. I think a lot of times the motivation has been from fear and
mm-hmm.
like, well, I haven't changed or like I haven't made
Right,
any money yet, so I
right.
need to put in more time. I gotta,
Mm-hmm,
it's just you
mm-hmm.
feel the pressure and intensity and like the panic,
Yeah. So now this is where we move into generating a new energy with our thoughts. Okay. Because we have to feel first. We have to acknowledge where we're at. Now, what I want you to do now is I want you to draw a circle in the middle of a page, and I want you to draw lines, almost like the lines of a sun. Eight eight lines. So you're basically using the sun. Okay? We're creating a light. Use the sun to have strength beyond your own, to see things greater than you can see. We're going to make a gentle trending with our thoughts. We've acknowledged the truth of where we're at. Now we're going to gently trend, gently shine our light, turn our light in the direction we want to head. Okay? So on your very first line, doesn't matter where you start because you're going to go all the way around, I want you to write where you're at right now. Start with the truth. Like one of those fears that you had. It's I've never done it before. I'm afraid it's not going to work because I haven't done it before. Okay. So start with the truth. And then you're going to make a gentle trending. What is possible? This is where I like to say a little prayer and say, God, help me to see this differently. Help me to plug into your light and see this through a different lens. Okay. And it doesn't have to be like jumping from A to Z. That doesn't feel real. That doesn't even feel attainable. But I can go from, you know what, this has never happened before. I don't know if I can do this, to it's possible that this is possible because I've seen it work for somebody else. Or this is possible because I've seen this miracle happen in my life before. And be specific, right? It's possible that I could actually learn a new skill because I've learned how to do things in the past, right? And each little ray of that sunshine is going to be one more gentle trending, okay? So it's like it's possible that I could be learning something new And the next thought is, wow, I remember seeing this happen in my life before. So it takes it from the level of possibility into more of reality, right? Well, yeah, I have seen miracles happen.
So is
Like,
this sunshine the each ray? It's kind of like a thought ladder where we're going from one rung to the next to kind of
mhm.
just bridge the two thoughts, to bridge like,
You're just gently trending up the emotional vibration scales. Okay, so
okay.
you're turning your light in the direction of what you want to create, gently trending with your thoughts. Okay,
Okay.
so I want you to practice a couple, and then I'm going to give you the next piece to this, and then you can practice this on your own, but just do a couple. Another question I like to ask myself is, what else is also true? Yeah, it's true that I feel scared. I feel I've never done this before, or it's true that I feel like I'm leaving my son at a vulnerable time. And what else is also true? This shows how much I trust him. This shows how much God trusts him, right? What else is also true?
Okay, so just so I feel like I'm on the right direction here.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if I haven't done it before, then the next one could be like, but it's been done before.
Yep.
Someone else has done it.
Yep.
And then like, I'm capable.
Yes.
Okay.
And then
Then
where
keep going.
have you seen yourself capable? Right? Not even in this realm. Maybe it's like I'm capable because I can do hard things because I graduated, or I ran this race, or I did this hard thing, or I had this hard conversation, or right? Like I do know I can do hard things,
Okay.
right? I do know I can learn new skills. Okay. Now from here, this is where you get to seek and expect miracles. After you have walked through this using the sun, you're tapping into the light, you're shining your light in the direction you want to go. I want you to just write down 3 to 5, wouldn't it be cool if? Okay, so
Oh,
wouldn't
sorry, one
it?
more question.
Mm-hmm,
Um, when we go around, so if we have um,
mm-hmm.
8 different lines, then the last one, should that be our final
No,
belief? Or what
no,
is that?
no, it doesn't have to be. All we're doing is gently trending up the emotional vibration scale. So you're going from fear and doubt towards something that feels a little bit more neutral. It's just the gentle trending upward. That's all that's required. You don't have to get all the way to Z.
Oh, okay.
In fact, it's better that you don't, because I fully believe, and I've had this experience multiple times, I make money even when I'm vibrating at low vibrations. Miracles happen even when my belief isn't at 100%, right? And what a relief. Like, that's a huge relief because it allows me to be in that highest vibration, which is truth, right?
Okay.
Okay. So
Thank you.
once you've done uh, your gentle trending using the sun, shining your light, moving up 0.001%, then you're just going to seek and expect miracles. Wouldn't it be cool if, or won't it be cool when? Whatever feels more available to you. Both are perfectly fine. Sometimes all I can access is wouldn't it be cool if. Sometimes I can access won't it be cool when. So you just write down those three things. And then you let it go. You shut your journal, you put it aside. This is where you get to step into your top of the mountain statement. After you've done your sunshine, and then so you do your feeler, and then your sunshine, and then your seek and expect. Then you can drop into your top of the mountain and feel what it feels like to be her. And just notice how much more accessible that feels after going through this process. That's the process. That's the process I'm inviting you into for the next 30 days. That you're creating your desire as you shine your light in the direction you want to go by shifting what you believe, think, and feel. Okay. So start your day with this practice. This is a practice that I have been committed to, and it's amazing what you can see. Notice, seek, and expect the miracles throughout the day. Notice how it's showing up. Notice all the little ways and respond with gratitude for each and every one of those little miracles. It'd be great if you wanted to share what you're experiencing, what you're noticing in the chat. That adds to the gratitude power when you speak it out loud and put it in a place that others can celebrate with you. But this is the 30-day practice that I'm inviting you into. All right. Okay. I would love for you all, I have to run to an appointment, but I would love for you all to share in the chat one aha or insight that you received today. What did you come here to hear today? What did you need from today's workshop, and what are you taking away with you? Drop it in the chat, share it. It helps all of us, but I appreciate you both being here. Thank you.
Thank you, Misty. Have so much fun.
I will. Thank you so much.
Yes.
And I'll send pictures.
For sure. Please do.
Yeah.
Thanks all.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.